Okay folks, another beautiful day in the Pine Barrens. We're down here on Mullica River Road, and we are going to go and find the helicopter crash that occurred in the Pine Barrens in 2023. The site is very well hidden, and the state I didn't think wanted curious or curiosity seekers going down and checking it out. And the family members of the crash victims, I believe, actually put a little plaque down there on a tree, and I think the state took it down. So we're going to go and find the site again, me and the Willow here. But first, I'm going to check out this river, because this has got a lot of water in it. The beaver have been super busy down here. Absolutely super busy. And one thing we have to do this year is actually come back down this river and give it a bloody good clean out. There's another dam. You've got a stack of dams you've got to get through to come down here. There's one over there. There's one dam over there. I don't really can see it. There's another one here. Oops, zoom out a little bit. So you've got a cascading section of river here, basically a waterfall of dams. You can see where we cut that tree right there to unblock some of those sections. Really, really busy beavers, I've got to tell you. Where's the dog gone? Oh, there she is. That he Houdini'd me. So, Willow, what's in there? Hey, Peep, who's up in that hole? Oh, looks like a nestling site in there. So, yeah, you can see some of the things you have to paddle down. These are the equivalent of rapids in South Jersey. So there's the other dam up there that's been so well built up, there's actually no water flowing over it. So it's flowing around the other side to the left. And there's another dam you can get over there. So you have to go over two dams to get down here. And then there's a third dam just there. So the beavers are, after this drought this season, which lasted really from August all the way through till early part of January, actually actually to the end of January, I would say. The river hadn't gotten where it needed to be, and luckily now we've started having some rain and precipitation, and she's up again. So you can see where we've done a fair amount of clearing over here to allow a channel through, and then you've got your rapids up here, which is kind of fun when you're paddling. So these are your rapids in South Jersey, all made by beaver. Hey puppy, where's the beavers? She don't care. Where's your Bawley? Bawley? Willow. No? Come on, let's go walkies. Good girl. So yeah, if you're paddling in South Jersey and you come across rapids, it's beaver made. Alright, let's head down the road here. We've got a little walk to go, not too far, but we'll find the location. What you got, pup? Come on, we're not going to go all the way down here. We're going to go and visit a crash site, if I can find it. You just got to look for where the state tried to block the trail with trees. They did a really bad job. It kind of looks obvious now. Good girl. All right. Over and out, folks. We'll see you in a minute, okay? So, you can see the direction of the helicopter crash. It came in here, and then hit the ground behind us, and there's a bit of a crater over there. And you can see where the helicopter blades hit the tops of the trees. There's a chunk out of there. There's a corresponding chunk out of this tree. The tops of these trees are gone. The top of this pine tree completely chopped off. And some of these trees over here have been completely devastated. And you can kind of track the path of the helicopter as it was crashing, coming down and eventually settling right by that tree right there. So let's go back, shall we? December 21st, 2023 was when the crash occurred, and air traffic control lost sight of the helicopter around 7:35 p.m. Monroe Smith and Chris Doherty, both, many years experience with the news station, lost their lives tragically in that crash. And I think we're still waiting on NTSB investigation as to what actually occurred. We don't know whether or not it was something to do with pilot error, whether it was a mechanical malfunction, but only not even half a mile in that direction there would have been actually an open area where you actually could have put your helicopter down. The firefighters of New Jersey, the air wing of New Jersey practices ditching into cranberry bogs because it's the safest place to ditch if you have a malfunction with your helicopter. But what happened here, we just simply don't know. Whether or not they were flying low and fast and hit a flock of geese that were migrating at the time and it caused them to crash, or whether something else occurred, I don't know. But that was the path of the crash all the way down to the ground over here. There was a little plaque. There's bits of plexiglass from the crash site. So there's like little bits of wreckage. Come on, pup. Bits of foam around. So the helicopter came down, hit the ground. Here's the tops of the trees it brought with it. Some massive scarring on the tree here. So here's some of the treetops it brought with it. In fact, I think that tree there belongs to that tree there. It hit the ground right here in this crater, impacted the ground, and then what was left of the fuselage and the engines rolled up against this tree here. Bits of Velcro and all sorts of stuff. There's still bits of wreckage here. Look at this. Chris Smith was the photographer, so this looks like a lens bracket. So the fuselage actually hit the ground right there where that kind of crater is and rolled this direction. It broke up on this tree, and for the longest time it would smell of aviation fuel here. You can kind of see what happened to this tree as it set on fire. And there was a plaque on this tree in memory of Monroe Smith and Chris Doherty, but it's since been taken down. Look, there's a bit of fiberglass over here. And what that was from, whether it was from the body or whether that was from the wing. Still bits of wreckage left around. I'm sure there'll be pieces of wreckage that'll be appearing in the woods for many years. But you can see the impact mark here. Big one here, and then the track of the helicopter coming down. So to this day it's a mystery as to why it crashed. Yeah, look at this fuselage material. with the honeycomb. I'm sure there's stuff buried in the dirt here. But here we are in a fairly thick part of the forest. And, you know, I don't know what the NTSB's verdict on this was. I've actually not heard any more about it as to what actually occurred. Because one would have thought if it was, you know, a mechanical failure, they would have had time actually with their altitude to fly over and put down into the cranberry bogs and the river over there. But I don't know. And there's some other clearings back behind us towards Quaker Bridge. Because Quaker Bridge is only maybe a mile in that direction. And there's an open area there above Quaker Bridge that you could have probably put down in a lot safer than trying to come down through the trees here. But it seems to me like they were out of control as they came in through these trees. So it must have been, whatever it was, a severe, you know, malfunction of some sort. But what a shame, eh? There's a chunk out of the tree there. You know, and you can, like I said, you can just follow the path of the wreckage. Bits must have been flying all over the place. Such a shame. Absolute shame. Willow, what have you got there? One of those messing with something. Leave it alone, whatever it is. It's probably got aviation fuel on it. Oh, you got a... What was that stuck on your foot? What have you got? Leave that root alone. It's not for you. Leave it alone, okay? But... yeah. So what we will be doing is coming back to this spot, and we're going to put another plaque up on that tree to commemorate the lives of Monroe Smith, Chris Doherty in the news channel, because there's lots of memorials around this forest, and I think this loss deserves another memorial, to be quite honest. You know, the memorials to firefighters, and yeah, okay, they've lost their lives fighting fires in the forest and so forth. And there are people who have had accidents down the highways that run through Wharton State Forest. But I think those guys were definitely deserving of a proper plaque and a place in the Pine Barrens that was their last resting place, where it ended for them in a tragic crash. But this is the site. And as this starts to grow and get thicker, it'll be, you know, consumed by the forest, and you'll never know where it is. In a few years' time, once all these trees start to resprout and regrow, it'll be difficult to locate this place. But I'd like to know why the crash occurred, and I'd like to find out just exactly why. There seems to be maybe some oddity with flight data. You know, some guy I think had tracked some of the data of the helicopter, and it may have gone backwards and forwards a couple of times, like it was looking for something or looking to put down, and then it crashed. But then I've seen other data that shows that it was going fairly fast, fairly low, and then suddenly vanished. You know, it was funny because, well, not funny, but you know, a couple of days before that, I was actually walking down the trail just over there, and there was no end of geese migrating, and I'm just wondering if they ran into a big flock of geese. But one would have thought there would be dead geese all over the place, and there isn't. So I don't know. We're going to have a quick walk up in this direction to see if we can figure out if they did actually hit something, and find out, you know, be perhaps a little bit more information about whether or not the helicopter changed course. All right, folks, over and out for now. Looks like there's some more wreckage here. Bits of glass. Probably more fiberglass. Looks like rubber hatch seal or something, and bits of fiberglass from the helicopter. Oh, somebody did actually put a memorial to hide it from the state, because there was one originally on that tree all the way down there, and actually somebody did put a memorial here. There it is. Basically says, rest in peace, Monroe Smith, Chris Doherty. That was very nice of somebody to come back and hide a little bit of a memorial away from the state's prying eyes to do that. If they're listening now, I hope they're understanding of the fact that a lot of people miss them and what they did for the local news environment. And let's give them a moment of silence. All right, pup. Did you give your moments of silence? These pine trees are unforgiving, unfortunately, and they will not bear a light aircraft. You will destroy yourself upon it. I'm in 5.8 mode here. It is definitely a peaceful location. You know, what a peaceful location, punctuated by that massive disaster that unfurled. Come. I can see you peeping at me. Willow, come on, let's go and try and find the trail this direction. Come on. Willow, come on. Good girl. Alright, folks, this was the crash site. At least there's a little stone memorial here. Like I said, I'm actually going to come back and put a memorial on the tree that the helicopter body came to rest on. I don't know whether the state will come back and check temporarily. You never know with the state. Who knows? But I will be bringing a little plaque back for them. At least somebody to put a little stone out, a rest in peace stone against that tree. And if anybody does want to know the location, I will share the longitude and latitude with people if they want to PM me. We're going to head up here because it seems to be what looks like somebody's trying to, build a shelter, I guess. All right, folks, over and out for now.